Hello and welcome to the second installment of In Case You Missed It, a segment where I briefly go over the most popular releases of last week in movies and TV. I'm your host, the Stud Muffin Tom Cruise, and let's get started right away with movies. On Friday, October 25th, Justin Deck's Countdown was released in the theaters. The main cast features Elizabeth Lail as Quinn Harris, Jordan Calloway as Matt Monroe, Talitha Eliana Bateman as Jordan Harris, and Peter Fasolini as Dr. Sullivan. The story involves Quinn Harris, a nurse who downloads a fictional app that tells you how much time you have left to live. She is shocked to find out that she only has 3 days to live. With the clock ticking and a mysterious figure haunting her, she must find a way to save her life before time runs out. Countdown has grossed a worldwide total of $10.7 million, debuting to $9 million. The $9 million opening exceeded expectations, and Countdown finished 5th in the box office this weekend. The horror thriller film received a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics disappointed in its lack of social commentary on culture and technology. While the movie certainly isn't groundbreaking in any way, it'll still appeal to fans of the genre that just want some cheap thrills and an easy-to-understand premise. On October 18th, Robert Eggers' psychological horror film, The Lighthouse, was released in the theaters. The main cast features Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson as Thomas Wake and Ephraim Winslow, two lighthouse keepers who start to lose their sanity when a storm hits the remote island they are stationed on. The movie has grossed a worldwide total of $3.6 million, debuting to $427,000. In its second weekend, the movie grossed $1.3 million, finishing 7th in the box office. The Lighthouse has a staggering 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics praising its story, cinematography, and acting performances by Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson. Even if you aren't a fan of psychological horror films, this is a movie that you do not want to miss. Also released on October 18th was the satirical dark comedy Jojo Rabbit. The main cast features Roman Griffin Davis as Jojo, Thomasin McKenzie as Elsa, Scarlett Johansson as Rosie, and Taka Waititi as Adolf. The film follows Jojo, a young and patriotic 10-year-old living in Nazi Germany. Jojo frequently converses with his imaginary friend, a supportive and childish version of Adolf Hitler. Jojo's world is turned upside down when he discovers that his mother is hiding Elsa, a teenage Jewish girl, in their attic. The film has grossed a worldwide total of $1.5 million, debuting to $349,000. In its second weekend, the movie finished 14th in the box office. Jojo Rabbit has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics saying that it has serious ideas underneath all the satirical humor. So be sure to give Jojo Rabbit a watch for some good laughs and some thought-provoking ideas. Moving on to television, on October 21st, Netflix saw the return of Bojack Horseman for its 6th season. The show stars Will Arnett as Bojack, a self-loathing, alcoholic, anthropomorphic horse in his late 50s in Hollywood, struggling with depression and who he's become after a brief stint of fame in his younger years. Despite that depressing description, Bojack Horseman is an incredibly well-written comedy drama series with a very realistic portrayal of depression, trauma, addiction, and self-destruction while maintaining a humorous vibe. Despite mixed reviews of the first season, seasons 2 through 6 have garnered universal acclaim. With a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, you really don't want to miss this one kind of a show. So be sure to catch the 6th season of Bojack Horseman, only on Netflix. Going back to the psychological horror side of things, on October 23rd, Hulu saw the return of Castle Rock for its 2nd season. Season 2 stars Lizzie Kaplan, Paul Sparks, Barkhad Abdi, and Yrsa Warsama as characters in the fictional town of Jerusalem's Lot. Jerusalem's Lot serves as the setting for a number of short stories written by Stephen King, and Castle Rock features adaptations of those stories in that town. The show has an 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, with critics praising the writing and acting performances. Be sure to watch Season 2 of Castle Rock only on Hulu to get in the Halloween spirit. Last but not least, on October 27th, HBO's Silicon Valley returned for its 5th season. The main cast features Thomas Middleditch, TJ Miller, Josh Brenner, Martin Starr, and Kumail Nanjiani. Silicon Valley is a comedy series following 5 men who founded a startup company in Silicon Valley, California. The series was created by Mike Judge, who you may recognize as a writer for Office Space, King of the Hill, and Beavis and Butthead. If you're a fan of any of those, you'll surely find enjoyment in Silicon Valley. With a Rotten Tomatoes score of 95%, Silicon Valley is a very intelligent comedy show that manages to appeal to a wide audience. Shaping up to be one of HBO's best comedy series, you surely don't want to miss this hilarious show. That'll do it for this week's installment of In Case You Missed It. Be sure to tune in next week to catch up on this week's releases in movies and TV. I'm your host, the Stud Muffin Tom Cruise, and keep it locked to good night.